just doesn't get complacent. He doesn't let anybody tell him what he can't do. There was a time last year where he did lose his father and he played in that very game and he had a touchdown. He's like, yeah, I'm good. But he's also never going to get complacent, and he's never going to let anybody tell him what he can't do. That comes from heritage.
I think that's a good transition into the running, which is another key position for the Miami Hurricanes heading into this year. Obviously, they lose a guy like Damien Martinez, who had a tremendous start to his career at Oregon State. And Brad's not here tonight, but my co-host Brad, shout out Brad, we were really high on Damien heading into last year, coming to Miami, being that dual guy with Cam Ward and the read option type play. We really thought he was going to have an explosive year, and he did decent. But he was a big part of that locker room, that veteran leadership along with Cam Ward. How does a running back like Mark Fletcher Jr. or a guy like Lyle fit into that plan for the running back position? Another take that I find interesting because, as I was saying before, me having the Georgia perspective, Georgia was known for running game. And over the last couple of years, Georgia has not had that elite run game, whether it's due to injury or lack of carries. I don't know what it was. But it was something that I think Carson Beck had to lean more on his throwing arm than I think he anticipated in the beginning for Georgia, if that makes sense. So with that being said, Carson Beck heading into this season, along with the tight ends, along with the O-line, along with all the other stuff, the run game is just as important. What's your take on the running back room moving on from Damien Martinez, and how can they have a productive year?
I loved Damien Martinez on our team. I think he was an outstanding running back. But there were times and there were games where I was like, why aren't we putting Lyle in? Why aren't we putting Fletcher in? What's going on? Because sometimes Damien Martinez didn't always do what we expected him to do. And that's okay. Not everybody can be 100% all the time. That's
right.
Expected much from too many people. But Mark Fletcher has the build. Lyle and Fletcher have the build, and they have that push, and they're able to gain any sort of yardage, whether it's that 1 yard to get the first or run it down. Doesn't really matter. Both of them get it. I'm pretty sure Fletcher went over 600 yards last year, and the year before he went over 500 yards as a true freshman. Lyle, I don't know off the top of my head, but he didn't play in every game, but I'm pretty sure he's somewhere near 200 yards. Don't quote me on that, but both of them are able to go down the middle, make essentially Miami. That's that saying, from 30 for 30, make a hole, and they just go.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, I was just going to piggyback off of that. You mentioned the size of these two guys. You got Mark Fletcher at 6'2", 225. You got Lyle at 6 foot, I believe, 190. Maybe have a little bit more take off the edge type speed. But Mark Fletcher, I think, is going to play a big role in the pass block protection of Carson Beck, especially with his size. This is his third year for the Miami Hurricanes. What have you seen personally from him in the spring, taking full advantage of the 1 reps this year?
I'd say Mark is a guy that's just Cam, kind of nonchalant. He's like, yeah, I'm good. But he's also never going to get complacent, and he's never going to let anybody tell him what he can't do. That comes from heritage. That comes from his high school.
Right.
Because obviously South Florida produced, a little biased, but South Florida produces the best football guys, any position, any part of any school. So he's coming out of a very competitive high school program, which leads him to coming into Miami, which is one of the most competitive PC programs. And he just doesn't get complacent. He doesn't let anybody tell him what he can't do. There was a time last year where he did lose his father, and he played in that very game, and he had a touchdown. I think. If not a touchdown, then he got us the first down that we really desperately needed. And that just shows the kind of character he is. He doesn't let a single person be like, no, you're not the running back we need, you're not really good. He shows and proves that he is the running back that we need, and he is the guy that Carson Beck is going to connect with, and he is the running back that Miami needs to make sure we get any sort of yard, any game that we are playing.
Well, it sounds all positive from the spring intel for the Miami Hurricanes football, and it sounds like they're on the right track. I think
Yeah.
Carson Beck, from what I've read, is on track with his injury recovery, despite some of the reports out there saying, oh, they need to go out and get a guy in the portal for the spring round. They need to do this. They need to do that. I think they will get a couple more guys in the portal, just based on my opinion, maybe to help out around the defense, which I know we'll get to the next time we speak. That way we don't overload everything at once. But that's a whole nother aspect of the game of football that we can get into. Before we let you go, Ashley, tell us, first of all, thank you so much for joining today and giving us more insight in the Miami football program. But tell the viewers where they can find you on social.
Oh, yeah. I have an Instagram. It's at Ashley Freedland Media. And in the next few weeks, I will have a Twitter or an X because I need to develop that. So that'll be up soon.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll be sure to plug all of that down below, and we'll put it up on the screen for the viewers to check you out, because I think you do some amazing work. You've done some phenomenal interviews with Cam Ward and done some great work elsewhere as well. So again, we really appreciate you joining the show. If you're a Miami fan, let us know down below in the comments what you think about Carson Beck and the future of Miami football heading into the 2025 season. Be sure to like this video, subscribe down below, and turn on that bell notification so you can stay updated when we post our latest content. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.